YouTube needs the music videos more than the music industry needs YouTube. Just. YouTube is incredibly important to the music industry. The deal is not as favourable as Spotify and Beats and Deezer, etc. They're committing to put slightly less of the revenue over to the rights owners. There are no guarantees. There's a few other clauses which you wouldn't find in the rivals' deals. Plus, of course, this is the indie label deal we're seeing, and we can only assume that the major labels did get some sort of sweetener, because I can't believe they would have signed up to worse terms than all of the others if they weren't getting a sweetener. So is the deal completely unfair? I mean, they're paying less than Spotify and Deezer, etc. You could ask the question, but is that because Spotify and Deezer and Audio, they're startups, they're willing to make losses in a way that Google aren't willing to make losses, because they already have, shareholders on the stock exchange. You either sign up to the YouTube audio service as it is currently set out, and if you don't, not only will you not be on the YouTube audio service, which the indies could live with, but not only will you not be on the YouTube audio service, you can't be on the YouTube video platform either. And I think that's the bit which seems wrong. YouTube are trying to say, oh, but our audio service and our video service are the same thing. So you're either in or you're not. The video services are equivalent of Spotify Freemium, and the audio services are equivalent of Spotify Premium. And with Spotify, you're either in or you're out. So with YouTube, you're either in or you're out. But I think that's disingenuous. That it's not the case. The YouTube video platform and the YouTube audio platform are totally separate. Certainly as far as the labels are concerned, they're totally separate. And I think to say to the indies, we all know that the YouTube video platform is an incredibly important promotional platform. That also brings in some revenue, and we're going to take that away from you if you don't play ball over here. I think that's wrong. Plus, the labels have always treated video differently to audio. They've always seen video as being less valuable than audio, ironically, given that there's a whole extra dimension to it. So YouTube got a really favourable deal back in the day, which the labels seem to start regretting in the last year. I think because of a bunch of evidence to suggest that particularly young consumers, whom Spotify and Deezer and Audio are desperate to sign up, aren't signing up to those services because they're using YouTube as an audio service. They go into YouTube, they set up a playlist, they minimise the browser, and they use it as an audio service. And the more savvy ones have got a plug-in on their Firefox so the ads don't play. So YouTube, even without YouTube Audio, YouTube is already a direct competitor to Spotify and Audio and Deezer, who are good payers. Some artists might disagree, but in the wider scheme of things, they're good payers. And they're probably saying to the labels, YouTube is stopping us from succeeding, you need to sort it out. It would be a big issue for the indies because YouTube is an important part of their promotional mix. Every album marketing campaign these days, in there is we get the content on YouTube, we do all the because YouTube's so social media friendly and it Googles well, and for the indies to lose that promotional platform would be an issue. And of course, as a label, on the user-generated content side, people are constantly using your content. Now, the YouTube system is all right at letting you monitor that through YouTube, through their Content ID system, and then you have a decision. When a user uploads a video of them dancing in the garden with your music playing, do you ask for it to be taken down, or do you say, that can stay, but I'll get a cut of the advertising as the owner of the copyright in the sound recording? And I think most labels these days would go for the latter rather than the former. Let's have a bit of the money rather than being draconian and saying, no, you can't have that. If the indies were blocked out of YouTube, they would lose that ability too. So they wouldn't be able to have the promotional benefits, they wouldn't be able to monetize user-generated content. And I think that would be, tricky and problematic for the indies. Having said that, a lot of the indies license Vivo. Vivo is the single biggest provider of videos to YouTube, so actually a lot of the indies would still have their official videos on YouTube and would be earning off that content via Vivo, which is sort of a separate company that just happens to provide a lot of the videos on YouTube. So I'm not convinced YouTube will go through with their threat to block the content. If they do, we don't even know what that means. What does block mean? And even if they did a complete block, there is always Vivo to get your content out there.